As you see here, this is a clip from Gymnastics Facility Center in China. This is the Nanning Gymnasium. Now you can see that this is a regular day of training in the gymnastics center. These children are being pushed brutally every day, being forced into shapes, weird shapes, and it's crucial. I mean, look at the expression on her face. Do you see the pain that she is showing? Did you see the way how the coach just kicked his own student or just forced them into this weird position, pushing and pulling on their limbs this way and that way? How the girl was pulled off the beam. This is what training is like every day in the Chinese Gymnastics Training Center. How do you feel about this? Gymnastics is an amazing sport, we all know that, and because it teaches an individual grace and also it builds strength for them. But gymnastics is just way too intense, especially in the Chinese methods. They are definitely training their gymnasts way too hard and depriving them from their childhood. The expectations for a young child is too much for them to accomplish. Bill Skiller from Foreign Affairs reports that sports are created for health and strength, but today sports are now becoming harmful to children athletes, causing bone deformation, overexhaustion, and severe illness. So because the expectations are just way too high for these children, they feel obligated to really push themselves over the limits, and it really exhausts their body because they are really trying to satisfy the coaches. And it's just too much for such a small, young child with a small body, so fragile to endure. Now, next, let's look at the views of discipline in the sports of gymnastics. Gymnastics is a sport of three components: strength, flexibility, and mentality. Chinese officials believe that without being, there is no success. Matthew Pinson, a German Olympics coach, has witnessed from a visit what it's like. And he reports that from his experience, it was a pretty disturbing experience. He reported that in this sport, he knows that the gymnast has to start at a young age in order to gain all that discipline and to persevere as they start young. But what really shocked him is that what went on in the gym, where he witnessed the kids were just being pushed way too hard, and he accepts the approach that Western training is different from the Eastern trainings. But later on, he observed more, and he discovers that a boy had a mark on his back, which has made him confirm that there was abuse going on. Because of the strain from all these high expectations in the Chinese methods, children often get abused. There is a limit between to distinguish what is pushing a child to become better, to persevere, and what abuse is. And the thing is, the coaches, we don't think that they understand what really discipline is, because there is a limit to how you could push your student versus where you abuse them because you lash out your anger of frustration because they can't get these skills right. Now, believe it or not, the Chinese government actually allows these children to actually be abused or to be pushed intensely. Virginia Wu from Epoch Times reports that other countries might be envious of the Chinese athletes, but it's not really worth the gold medals because the Chinese Communist Party establishes so much into demanding more sports training systems that really pushes children as young as 4-year-olds to really go through a lot of intense training every day and to live away from their families, miles apart from where they're familiar with. And the government is just way too demanding for these young children to go out there on their own, to take this opportunity to become stars, and to really just put all the strain upon their body for such a small, fragile child. Now, so how do you feel about Chinese gymnastics training upon these young children? Would you like to see your child be in this position? Think about it.